Well, I spoke earlier this evening to Finance Minister and this government's legal eagle, Arun Jaitley. Listen in to the conversation. Thank you very much, Mr. Arun Jaitley, for speaking to India today. The big question, do you believe in the light of the Yakub Memon execution, the time has come for a nationwide debate on the death penalty?
Well, I have no difficulty with the debate. The debate has been on for decades. But the position you take in the debate must have some connect to the reality. You have countries with a very low crime rate. You have countries which don't face any internal or external threats from terror or invasion. And you have a country like India which in the last 30 years has seen terror almost by the day. And therefore, whatever decision you take has to be connected to that ground reality. Nobody likes a death sentence. In any case, the Indian society is too civilized to have it in the rarest of rare cases. You've just had 3 executions in the last several years. The fact is that courts are also circumspect, and their own guidelines say that it's only very rarely that we grant it. But in a country which has faced terror from various angles, you can't really say that we've reached a situation where we can eliminate death penalty altogether.
No, it's almost as if you're saying because India is struck by terror, therefore there should the death penalty should remain on the statute books.
You understood me right.
But there are other countries which have moved beyond that. 101 countries, Mr. Jaitley, have abolished the death penalty. Are we saying that India, because we are victims of terror, therefore is it a deterrent? Are you saying that?
Yes, I am saying that, and I'm saying that if you
you're saying death penalty is a deterrent.
If you now stop the question and allow me to give an answer. How much terrorism has Europe seen? How much terror has the United States seen after 9/11? Now, these are protected societies. Therefore, don't translate their ground reality to India. You've had terror in Kashmir, you've had cross-border, you saw it in Punjab, you saw it in Northeast, you saw it in the Maoist hinterland, you've seen it in the southern tips of India. You've had 5 or 6 different kinds of insurgencies in this country. You have people who actually kill hundreds and get away with it.
Is it a deterrent, sir?
You see, where is the evidence? Now, I'll answer your question by a counter question. You killed 257 people in Mumbai, and then the law says after 14 years you can walk out. Are you incentivizing it? Can terror be fought with some kind of kid gloves on? Can terror be fought with a soft policy? That we are a soft state, we are only conscious about human rights of villains and culprits and not of victims altogether?
So your own court say life imprisonment today includes life. You could have had a life imprisonment for Yakub Memon, which is not 14 years, which is life.
You can say life. The court has also made an observation recently, and it was out in the public domain, that should the governments not have a discretion after 14 years when to let him free. Therefore, with the kind of pressures we have, whether you use it or not, or you use it very rarely, I am one of those who still believe that it should be on the statute book. On a debate, I have no difficulty at all. People are entitled to a contrarian view. But the context in which this debate is being initiated, and I would suggest to all well-meaning friends like you, the 257 people killed in Mumbai, the hundreds of them who got injured in those blasts, which was admittedly a terrorist attack, let's not make out martyrs out of those who committed the offense.
900 people, sir, died in the riots that led to the blast. The Sri Krishna Commission makes it very clear. The riots led to the blast. 900 people died. What is, should they not be also
prosecuted?
Should they not, should the death penalty not be seen in those cases?
Absolutely. Therefore, you should go and see who are the people. When the Delhi riots took place in 1984, though very rare prosecutions took place, in some cases, I remember the courts in the eastern part of the city did award a death penalty to a person who was considered the butcher of 1984.
But the fact is, in 1992 Mumbai, 92-93 Mumbai, no one has been awarded the death penalty for the riots that led to the blast. Now an Asauddin Owaisi turns around and says, what about a Maya Kornani, what about a Babu Bajrangi in 2002 Gujarat?
These are all cases pending in a judicial process. Now, even in a case where 257 people are killed, eventually it's only one who's been given a death sentence.
And he's not
In
necessarily the prime conspirator, because Dawood Ibrahim and Tiger Memon are not.
We, as I said yesterday to another channel, we are not a banana republic where Rajdeep Sardesai will sit in appeal over the Supreme Court finding. You've had 7 rounds of opportunity given to an accused. All 7 courts have come to a concurrent finding, and a television anchor comes up and says, or some signatories come up and say, we believe he's innocent. I'm afraid we have a judicial process in place. You've had 13 judges of the Supreme Court who in different benches have gone through this case. Let us treat their verdict as final.
So no one said he's innocent. They said that why give the death penalty? Why not life imprisonment?
You see, the life or death is also a discretion to be exercised by the court. And they have very stringent guidelines where death is given in the rarest of rare cases.
That's precisely it. When you use the word rarest of rare, inherent in that is an element of discretion, an element of discriminatoriness, an element of arbitrariness.
No.
Sir, you've seen in the case of the Abhiyan Singh killers, Rajiv Gandhi's killers, they have not got the death penalty because the Akalis have more clout, the Davidian parties have more clout.
No, that's not a fact. That's factually not correct. The Bed Singh killer is still on a death row, except that his proceedings are pending. The Bullar, who's supposed to be now in a bad medical situation, I'm told in a Shadra asylum, is still on a death row. So the facts which are being given by Owaisi and Mr. Digvijay Singh are factually not correct.
Rajiv Gandhi's killers.
Now, Rajiv Gandhi's killers, you had a home minister in this country who said that we will consider the mercy petitions seriatim, and therefore some of them will be considered in later point of time. After a couple of years, the court turned around and said, delay in consideration of the clemency petitions and execution of the sentence. Therefore, it was a constitution bench of the Supreme Court which converted death into life. The government did not.
Are you not worried, though, that when the entire manner of which mercy petitions are placed before the president, there is an element of arbitrariness that comes in? As I said, political clout can decide it today. Terror has got communalized also dangerously.
No, terror has not got communalized. Terror has not gone communalized. I'm afraid you should be worried on the ground that India, which is facing terror from all sides, we do not certainly want to incentivize that terror by saying we'll give you softer punishments if you commit acts of terror.
But sir, you are a top lawyer. You yourself know many lawyers and many judges have said that life imprisonment, remaining on death row. Sir, a national law university survey has showed 2,000 people have been handed the death sentences. 2,000. Only 4 executions have now taken place. You're on death row for 15 years, 20 years.
That speaks of the civility of Indian law, that you do it only in the rarest of rare cases. But let me tell you, there could be extreme cases where people may be of a threat to society if they continue to live, that you go to that extreme punishment. Now, what would happen to the killers of Indira Gandhi? Should we have allowed them today to walk free? That's a question which...
life imprisonment, life.
That is a question...
Why this obsession with death penalty being a deterrent?
That is a question which Digvijay Singh and Shashi Tharoor must answer. Should the killers of Indira Gandhi have been allowed to walk through free after a couple of years? My view is certainly not.
Shashi Tharoor believes that the death penalty should be off the statute books, and we are being told that the Law Commission, which is debating the issue, he also believes that we should slowly move away from the death penalty.
I'll tell you, that's a legitimate debate to have. I have no problem with the debate. But on the other side of the fence, we can't be compared to a European state or an American state where terror is rare. Here in India, it's a reality.
So are you saying, therefore, the death penalty in this country should be only limited to terror? Are we saying, for example, someone rapes 25 women? Someone will that be...
Supposing somebody, all right, somebody rapes...
Somebody commits a mass crime in a riot.
Could be.
So are we saying that it is not limited, therefore,
I am not saying, I am giving terror as an example, but there could be, let's take your example, somebody rapes 25 women and murders them. Now, should he be considered as some kind of a person to whom a soft sentence must be handed? It's really for the judiciary to decide, and I must say, to the credit of Indian courts, they've been very circumspect in deciding whom to give it, whom not to give it. And when you empower the courts, you give them a discretion and you expect judicially trained minds to exercise that properly. After all, it's a divine function which courts perform, deciding disputes between you and me, but they have to do it judiciously. Can you say, why should they have a discretion? Obviously, that's the only civilized system in which India can function.
Are you worried about the fallout of this Yakub Memon case in the sense that it will end up polarizing society?
I am. And I'm not worried because society would be polarized. Every responsible Indian would certainly come up and find the whole crime in 1993 as repulsive. But I am concerned that there are well-meaning people in India who stand up for such culprits and try to parade them as martyrs.
So I would take your statement even more seriously if you had also said the 92-93 riots were equally repulsive that took place in the background of the Babri Masjid demolition, where your ally Shiv Sena and even BJP activists were allegedly involved.
According to me, if some person is guilty of a riot, be it anywhere, and you can say that he's conducted mass crimes in a riot and the court decided to give him the extreme punishment, so be it.
It's never happened.
But so be it. But the fact is it's for the courts to decide whom to give it to. All examples being given are factually wrong. Whether it is Bain Singh's killers or Rajiv Gandhi's killers, it is not the state which has pardoned them. It is the courts which have decided on the sentence. Death sentence in one case and a commutation in the other case.
Therefore, in conclusion, if the Law Commission comes up with a report at the end of August saying, we believe that gradually the death penalty should be removed of the statute books of this country.
I am not getting into probabilities.
Is your government willing to consider it?
You see, I am willing for any form of debate, but the debate has to have some correlation to reality. And taking up an extreme case of a 1993 killings in Mumbai and then saying that people should be pardoned in this case, I think is an extreme.
This is because some lawyers have suggested that the evidence also against Yakub Memon was not proven beyond reasonable doubt.
Well, I am afraid lawyers don't write judgments, judges do.
So you're saying that you believe that the judiciary's view therefore should be final, it should be respected.
Obviously.
And therefore
that's the only way India can function.
And therefore those who today...
the only way you can criticize a judicial function, you don't have a power to overrule it.
शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा आप ही के MP हैं जो 40 लोगों में से है जिन्होंने प्रेसिडेंट के सामने रखा कि याकूब मेमन को आप सजाए मौत मत दीजिए.
मैं निश्चित रूप से मानता हूं वो हमारी पार्टी की नीति के खिलाफ था.
जो शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा ने किया वो आपके पार्टी के नीति के खिलाफ था.
मैं स्पष्ट रूप से मानता हूं और मैंने कल भी यह वक्तव्य दिया.
मैं आखिर में आपको पूछूंगा, जब आपके जो विरोधी हैं कहते हैं कि ये सरकार जो है वो याकूब मेमन को फांसी देती है, जो हिंदू टेरर में शामिल है उनके खिलाफ कुछ कार्रवाई नहीं करेगी, उनके खिलाफ पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर तो केस किस तरह से उसको धीमा किया जाए, उसको ड्रॉप किया जाए, ये जो आरोप लग रहे हैं आपके सरकार के,
इस देश ने बैद सिंह को फांसी नहीं दी थी, इस देश ने गॉडसे को फांसी नहीं दी थी, वो किसी एक ही मजहब के थे. इसलिए ये आरोप लगाना आतंक की घटना के को नजरअंदाज करना होगा, जो अपने आप में उचित नहीं है.
तो मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, क्या आपकी सरकार पूरी तरह से पक्ष में है कि ये जो सजाए मौत है वो रहे स्टैट्यूट बुक्स?
देखिए, बहस से कोई किसी को शिकायत नहीं है, बहस तो किसी भी समाज में होनी चाहिए, लेकिन आज अभी तक इस देश की जमीनी हकीकत ये नहीं बनी कि हम इसको पूर्ण रूप से समाप्त कर दें. स्टैच्यू बुक के है, न्यायपालिका तय करेगी, और ये बहुत कम केसेस में, पिछले 10 साल में 3 केसेस में हुआ, तो इसलिए रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर केसेस में इसका प्रयोग होना चाहिए.
Mr. Arun Jaitley, appreciate your talking to us. Thank you very much.